Are we? Oh, here we are. Okay, look, can you see Ron's shirt?
Wait, let me adjust my camera. I didn't mean for you to see that. Oh,
well, you saw your.
That?
I better move mine a little bit.
I think the correct vernacular.
I was waiting so long.
Penis.
Hey, everybody, I'm sporting.
Making sense. There you go. Everybody, it's Ron here in Las Vegas with Are You Shitting Me TMI, and always we have with me.
I'm his brother Ron here in Amarillo, and that'll learn my little brother to tell me what shirt he's wearing.
Yeah, you'll never send Mike a precursor of what you're wearing that evening.
I ran right in here.
Well played, my friend. Well played, my friend. Well played.
All
Lead us off there, brother. Lead us off.
Well, I like yours. We were talking sort of off before the podcast began, but you tossed out a couple, and I really liked them. First of all, for those that are tuning in, we got a couple of them right now. That's the StreamYard link to tonight's, and it's only good for tonight. So if you don't think you can copy it, but if you can just go ahead and enter that into a search engine, it should take you to where we are right now. Okay. And I'll put that up a little bit later, but
let's see who has the balls to join us.
This is are you where you thought you would be as a kid and what you wanted to be versus what you became? And I can't take credit for this one. Ronnie came up with this one. And as soon as I can't take credit
for it because my wife is the one that came up with this.
Is she? God bless Michelle.
Yeah.
She was,
and there was one more on there also. I don't know if you wrote it down, but it was also life goals and how they change over time depending upon our age. So let's kick it off with, we're going to start this season. Let's kick it off with the first one. You know, are any of us where we thought we would be today? And I can jump out of the gate and tell you absolutely no. I am nowhere near doing what I thought I would be doing because, you know, when I was in my 20s, or late teens, early 20s, I really didn't know what I wanted to do. When I was in my early 20s, I was in law enforcement. I lived in a little dinky town. I was doing a bunch of other things, and you know, I thought that's what I wanted to do. And then that changed. I ended up moving to Tahoe, and I was the operations manager for a casino in Lake Tahoe, and I thought I wanted to be in the casino industry. You know, it changed so much, but never in my life was there a point I said, I want to be in real estate and construction. And here I am.
Right. And see, I'm sort of the opposite. Now, did I have jobs? Yeah, I talked about this a while back. I mean, some of the early jobs we had. But I knew when I was about 12 what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a DJ. And what led me to it was because, and we may have talked about this too, but I knew I wanted to do it because I would call on a rotary phone and win radio contest after radio. I mean, I outfitted our freaking street with T-shirts that I won from these radio stations. And I know that I called one time, and the guy, you know, he was all right, thanks for calling. You're calling number 5. Who's this? And so I told him it was, and you can just hear the air go right out of him. It was like, son of a bitch again. Dude, do you not have a job? Do you not have someplace you need to be? And so it's in that moment I thought, you know what? I want to be on that side of the radio. I want to be the one that says, be caller number 5 and win whatever. And so it's funny because I even mentioned this in the book that I used to walk around and talk to myself a lot. So at Chad's, you know, Chad, his family had the basketball hoop in the driveway. Mm-hmm. Right. And so we'd be out there hooping it up. And every once in a while, his mom, Dorothy, bless her heart, would come out and, you know, kind of watch us, make sure we're all being good. And she used to pick on me for 2 reasons. One was for chewing my tongue, which I still do to this day, and that's why my teeth were screwed up. And for talking, she just, Michael, do you ever shut up? Do you ever stop talking? And so some years ago, shortly after I bought the Firebird, I'm going to be up in the old hood, and bless her heart, Dorothy was still around. I think I had stopped, and I don't know if Chad or whoever came out and was talking to me, because I was, boasting about the Firebird, and Dorothy came out, and she just asking, "Hey, how you doing? How's everything going?" And then she asked, "Now, Michael, do you still talk as much as you did when you're out here playing basketball with the kids?" And I said, "Yes, ma'am, I do. But here's the thing. I found somebody who's stupid enough to pay me for it." See, so I did know what I wanted to do when I was younger, and I've been blessed in the fact that I've been in and around that business for more than 40 years. So I'm, for probably a baby boomer, I think some of us are unique to that standpoint, that we've been able to apply a trade for that long.
I would agree,
doing this kind of thing. But it is, are you where you thought you would be, and what you wanted to be as a kid versus what you became? So let us know. You, go to the comments.
It says something about you and your generation, because I don't, my personal opinion, I don't believe that happens very often. It's you may, as a young man, I mean, you can sit there and tell you every young man's like, "I want to be a police officer. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be," that's what right. They all say. I want to be a doctor. I want to be this, But at 12 years old, Mike, I had no earthly clue what I wanted to be. I really didn't. So to have that tenacity in you to know, and not only to know, but to follow through with it and spend 4 decades in that career, God love you, man. That's fantastic.
It's well, thank you. First of all, not easy, but I think that's the difference, Ron, between finding something that your heart is involved in and finding something that pays the bill.
Absolutely.
Now, have I hit bills? Sure. I mean, I've had jobs beyond radio, but for the most part, I have been connected to this business in some way, shape, or form for, I think it's about 43 years now, something like that. But I also thought of this one too. I envisioned myself being a koala bear wrangler, or a Chippendales dancer.
Who the hell is that?
That's me. I put that one up there.
What are you talking about? Let's get somebody.
It's a conversation starter.
Let's get some people that are watching. I want to hear some of those answers. Man, I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. No, amen. And I'm that same person, man. I agree, Matt. Matt and I are the same age. We're 55 years old, and but Matt and I are two entirely different people. Matt's very much like Michelle, that Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, career driven. And Mike, you and I are of the same cloth. It's, I want to run my own business. I'm going to go 100 miles an hour with my hair on fire and see what we can do. And, right. And in that essence, I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up, man. But I will say, I love what I do. I honestly do. And sometimes my wife doesn't understand it, and hell, sometimes I don't understand it, but I really enjoy going to work every day.
Well, there's a couple of things that I just thought of there. First of all, the assumption is we've grown up, right?
We've gotten older.
So you picked up on it. The assumption is we've grown up. We're having some life problems. So forgive me if I keep looking down. I may have to switch this over to phone.
Do your thing. But I always look at it, and I look at, like my age, I remember being in my late teens and 20s thinking, "God, you're 55 years old, man. You got like a 1 foot in the grave, right? Man. You're like dead." And at my age now, matter of fact, prime example, and this was funny. I have a construction business, so I have a couple of trailers I use for like debris and trash and stuff when we're demoing houses. So it was full, so I take one of them to the dump, and I got out of the truck because they always come and measure and they charge you per yard and what yada yada. So I was stepping back over the tongue of my trailer, and I kind of tripped. And the kid that was working there, and when I say kid, he's in his 20s, and he's like, "Oh my God, sir, are you okay?"
All right, sorry, I switched routers on that one. Go
No,
ahead.
I was just saying that, when I was at the dump, I had to get out of my trailer to go and watch this kid measure my trailer. They charge you by the yard. And I went to step back over the tongue of my trailer, and I tripped on the tongue of the trailer. And this kid, late teens, early 20s, he's like, "Oh my God, sir, are you okay? Are you all right, sir?" I had to bite my tongue. I was gonna be like, "Yeah, fuck you."
What do you mean, am I okay? I'm a man.
I'm not decrepit. I can trip and fall like the best of them.
I'm a man. You know what's funny is now, whenever I do trip and fall, I don't feel anything for 3 days, and then 3 days later, I'm thinking, "Why the hell does that hurt? What's happening?"
Nah, amen, man, amen. I totally
Anybody
agree
else put up with that crap? I do. Or I'll bump into something, and I remember thinking to myself, "Well, that's going to leave a mark, or that's going to bruise." And then, 3 or 4 days later, there's a lump or something on my arm, and now because I'm at that age, now my mortality is kicking in. I'm looking, going, "Well, what the fuck? Where did this come from?"
Well, I got one right out of the book of Mike.
Did you cut yourself?
No. I was using my chop saw, and I was holding a piece of trim like this on the chop saw, and of course the blade's way over here, and I came down just a little too fast on it, and it kicked back, and the backside of my thumb touched my wrist, poof, like that, and I'm that quick, and I'm like, "Oh, God dang it!" And I'm like, "Okay, I can move it," and then, like 2 days later, there was no moving it.
That hurts now.
And this was 2 weeks ago, and I got some movement in it now.
Yeah,
but just doing that hurts. So I feel your pain about the days later. Yeah.
Good, because I wasn't sure, because I'm at that age, man. I realize, that as they say, the end zone is getting near.
As long as you don't call up the finish line. I think you froze up, Mike. I don't know if you guys can hear me, but we're going to go continue on a little bit here. One of the other things we wanted to talk about was, again, what you wanted to be versus what you became. And it's not to say that what we are now is going to be what we are forever, even at our age,
right.
Because like Ed Milet said, Ed Milet's one of my favorite podcasters. He talked about inventing and reinventing yourself at any age. It doesn't matter what age you are, So Mike, and I'm not trying to call you out, but Mike just had to reinvent himself in a certain way,
No, you're fine.
And it's one of those things where, he and I, and correct me if I'm wrong, but he and I kind of traveled that path together, because it's not something that, at our age, it's tough, man. It's not like shifting gears at 30 years old. When you're shifting gears in your 50s and 60s, it's a lot freaking different.
It's different, and it's scary as hell. And without going into great detail, no, you're fine to bring that up. I not only had to reinvent myself at 62 years of age, I'm having to pretty much start over. And and that's where I'm thankful for Ron. I mean, I went through quite the spell of self-pity and, wallowing in my own self-doubt. And that's where having, good people around you really pays off, because I had an attorney friend of mine basically just said, "Why, you think you're the only one that goes through this shit?
Yeah.
Why don't you stand up straight, throw your shoulders back, and go kick this ass, man? Go get it."
Yeah.
And so between him and you, things that, there's the light at the end of the tunnel keeps getting a little bit brighter and a little bit brighter.
Yeah. My uncle here in Vegas actually was not really my uncle roundabout way, in a Hispanic kind of way. You're married to a cousin, sister's uncle's best friend, neighbor.
Right.
But I was going through it, a long time ago, and he said something to me that stuck with me forever. You know what, Ron? They can't eat you.
Yeah.
You know, and it's that simple. You know, it's like
I actually said that to a city official today.
Yeah.
Who's going through kind of a tough time right now. And I just told them, I said, look, here's what I do know. They can't kill and eat you.
Yeah.
So, just keep being the very best you can be. And in fact, he's going to be on the show tomorrow. And, he's had kind of a tough couple of weeks. So I'm thankful he's decided to come on the show tomorrow. But yeah, it's
good.
They can't kill and eat you, man.
Well,
It'll feel like they're trying.
Yeah. Yeah. They're shooting at you, and we can kind of segue that right into the other topic of life goals, how they change over time. Because I can tell you right now, I mean, my life goals today are not what they were even 10 years ago.
Right.
Especially 20 or 30 years ago. My life goals now are about putting money away, trying to save for retirement. For those of you that don't know, Michelle and I adopted our youngest granddaughter. So we're starting over kind of kid wise. We have a 9-year-old that we're raising. We've had her since she was 18 months old. So yeah, our life goals changed when that scenario in our life happened, and Mike, again, I can guarantee you your life goals changed sometime about a year ago, and they may change again. I mean, you never know.
Well, and that's the beautiful thing about life, and it's part and parcel to some of the writing I wanted to do is in this book I just did, I refer to life as being a canvas on which you can place bright and vibrant colors, or it can be a canvas on which they're just dark and dreary and bad colors. And I still think there's still enough canvas on mine, and I have plenty of color left. I'm not done. And so I think that's when you're going through that tough spot, you need somebody like Ron or my attorney friend or some others that said, hey, look, and I'll tell you right now, Ron told me point blank, if I know nothing else about you, I know I'm not even worried about you. It's going to be fine. And so in the depths of, my self-pity, I was thinking, I don't know how it can be. I'm 61, 62 years old, and I have lost, I don't mind telling you, I lost a shitload of money and a business. And that's I'm not used to failure. I think that's, I think for me, that was the biggest part of it. It wasn't even money or anything. That way. We weren't, failure was truly not an option. And so that was my first taste of failure, and it was huge. And I will tell you what, it tasted like shit.
It stings, man. So it definitely stings.
But I'm glad to tell you that today, the Lord has me moving in a whole new direction. It's when you come to the realization God's in control, and I'm glad I'm not. And it's my job to just put one foot in front of the other and go wherever He leads me.
So my wife always tells me, and Mike, I preached this to you many times, don't try to steer the river, because the plan is there, the river's already set, man. You sit in the boat and you paddle. That's about it.
That's all you can do.
Yeah.
So so are you where you thought you would be as a kid, what you wanted to be versus what you became? Thinking about that, I don't know that I really thought about it. I did briefly as a kid have just this momentary dream that I could be ready for this. I wanted to be the next Michael Jackson. Not Donny Osmond, not anybody,
I think Chad was Donny Osmond.
Yeah, not Chad probably was the Donny Osmond of our neighborhood.
He was.
But and
sorry, Chad.
I just wanted to be the next Michael Jackson. So I wanted to be a singer, and an actor. I was in some plays very early. I'd say elementary to maybe middle school, and I really enjoyed it. But when I got into the later part of middle school and into high school, no passion for it. And I think that's the key to anything is anything you do without passion is labor. It's not fun. If you don't have passion, then find something else to do. Yeah. And I'm glad I still have a passion for what I do.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. They always say if you enjoy what you do for a living, you never work a day in your life, and you,
Damn right.
have that. And it doesn't matter. And I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it doesn't matter if you're cleaning toilets or running a company. You know, nope. I had a kind of tell me who the hell was it? I don't remember, but it was a story about a guy. Oh, matter of fact, Uncle Jack is who it was. And he was telling me a story about this guy. Jack used to run these big warehouses in Southern California. And there was a guy there that was a janitor, but he was very good at what he did, very articulate, and knew how to run people. And Jack kept trying to hire this guy for a different position and pay him more and give him better opportunities. And the guy was like, no, thank you. I enjoy what I do. This is what I do, and it makes me happy.
Right.
And the guy, and that was it. You know, and I tell you what, Mike, for some people that's a hard pill to swallow. It's like, why would you not want to make more money or do something better or something bigger? And you know, not everybody's built like that.
No.
Some people want to be the janitor. Some people want to just be behind the scenes.
It's funny because it's when I was approached to do this talk show I'm doing now, it was about the time that I was having to close my business, right? So I'm kind of going through that nonsense, and they walked into my office one day, and just I said, "Hey, how you doing?" Because I knew who they were, and so Bryce sat down at my desk and said, "Do you still have the fire?" And I said, "The fire?" And I said, "For what?" And he said, "Do you still have the fire? Could you still do a talk show?" And I said, "Well, of course I could." And I said, but I told him point blank, I said, "Look, I'm going to give you the same speech I give everybody else that tries to get me to come do a show for them. If you also want me to sell, I'm not your guy. There's two things I've never pretended to be in this business. And one is an engineer. All I know is I'm supposed to push shit and stuff's supposed to happen. Outside of that, I don't want to sell. And here's the thing, and this is what you're just talking about, and it has to do with passion. And I said, oh, yeah. I have no doubt I can sell. The question is, do I want to sell? Hell no, I don't want to sell. So why would you ask somebody who might be good at what you're at, but they don't want to?
Yeah, they're not going to do a good job at it.
Yeah. So, you know, I could have lied and said, oh, yeah, sure, I can do it, and not done a damn thing. I can sell, believe me, but I don't want to. You know, that's why even with the business, I had people that worked for me, had people that sold for me. That's where Ronnie kind of kicks my ass. You know, I can run the business. I know what it's supposed to do. I just don't want to go out and sell it. And so I had people that did it for me. Ronnie, on the other hand, does it all. He runs the business and he is capable of selling it. That's my shortcoming. I am not a pontificator. I don't like to sit behind the desk and point and say, you do this. I got to be active. I just don't want to go out and sell.
Yeah. Well, it's not to call you out on the carpet, but you did the same thing to me when I approached you about this a couple of times. You know,
I did.
It was though. I don't want to. I've had people ask me about doing podcasts before. I don't want to do no damn podcast. You know, but you know what? And I say it all the time. I'm glad you did, but my point being is sometimes in certain circumstances you have to be pulled out of your comfort zone, and I say that being that I think now you enjoy it because it brings you something that you didn't know was there before. So just to say no is, you know, maybe not.
You're absolutely right.
But if over the years and if you knew for the past 30 years you don't want to sell, that's one thing, you know. But
absolutely.
Sometimes there's things that I do even in my business. I sometimes I think I don't want to do that, but then I do it. And I'm like, okay,
yeah. And I tell people all the time, you just use the term comfort zone. And this is something I've learned probably in about the last 5 years. And that is every time I step out of my comfort zone, I can throw a hissy fit till the cows come home. But once I finally give in and do something I don't normally do, I shit you not, I always say, God, I'm glad I did that.
Oh, absolutely. I'm the same way.
In fact, I was invited to a dinner tomorrow night, and my knee-jerk reaction was, because I know what it's been. I've been to many of these before. It's a business kind of a function, but only for guys. And so I've done it before. I emceed it a couple of years. And when I was asked yesterday, it's an expensive deal, so they gave me tickets. My knee-jerk reaction was, okay, we're going to go, we're going to drink, we're going to, play games. Some people will win money. I always try to win guns when I'm there. And by the time I get home, I'm going to be pooped, tired. This is my mindset, right? I overthink and I'm overanalyzing.
You have a preconceived notion of what it is.
Yeah. And so at one point I thought, screw it. So I said, yeah, I'll go. And so I'll go to this thing tomorrow night. Even Carolyn's already riding my tail because she knows what the dinner is. And she says, go and have fun. And I said, well, I'll go, but
I'm not going to have fun, damn it. I will not have fun.
It's going to be gross and horrible. Scantily clad women serving us drinks.
Yeah.
So, but that's, look, I'm making a little light of that, but I don't know what it's like for anybody else, but I can guarantee you, every time I've stepped out of my comfort zone, I can't think of one time where I've said, gosh, I shouldn't have done that. Every time I step out, I say, God bless, I'm so glad I did that.
It could have been worse. I mean, Alice Cooper could have been there.
Alice, Ronnie's going to go dragging dreams into us.
Sorry, man. It was there.
I'm not going to go into the dream.
Now let's read what Jubal has to say here. I had a school teacher in grade school told me I could be anything I want to be. I looked at her straight and said, I want to be a brain surgeon. You should have seen her face. And I'm going to start with you.
Well, you have to really understand. This is, God bless him. I love Jubal Gillis like a brother. I do. To know Jubal is to know he has cerebral palsy. And so that's why that is so fucking funny. That is I want to be a brain surgeon.
And not a very good one, but one nonetheless.
I told you, the funniest thing anybody has ever said to me was, I think we were having a drink out of the racetrack one night. Somebody just asked Jubal, hey, how do we know when you're drunk? And so Jubal, I shit you, Jubal actually comes back with, because I'll walk straight and talk clear. And we all just about died laughing. I swear, I bet we pissed our pants. It was so
It has
funny.
an opposite effect.
Oh God, it was hilarious.
I love it. I love it. That's
Jubal,
I'm
so
making
many
a trip to Amarillo just for that reason.
Oh, he's outstanding. When you're out here, you've got to meet my man. Jubal is, there are and I talk about this in the book. There are a number of people that move in and out of your life. There's seasons. You don't know how long they're going to be. I can tell you unashamedly, Jubal is one of the coolest people that's ever crossed my path. And I'm so thankful that I was able, that God put him in my life. He inspires me and so many other people more than I think he knows.
I can see that.
But yeah, he's pretty awesome. He's pretty damn awesome. So we're up against 28-29.
Well, I got a funny story. I got a funny story to tell.
Well, apparently nobody wants to talk about, the what was, I even forgot what our thing was.
Are you where you want to be?
What you wanted to be versus what you became.
So
I have to say I'm okay. I mean, I had a great career. It's one that I look forward to. Look, I've actually lived a pretty good life so far as the career goes. I've done some shit other people would love to do.
And live through it.
That's a whole different one.
I had my funny story. My oldest granddaughter, who lives here in Vegas, and when I say oldest, she's gonna be 14 this year, and I'm just like, damn it, weren't you just like 2 a couple years ago?
Right.
And so I had to take her to her house to go pick up her stuff because she wanted to spend the night at our house. And I have an Alexa in my truck, and so the kids are in there. I'm always like, hey, what do you want to listen to? And I'll ask it to play it, and it plays whatever they want to listen to. And so I asked her, I said, "Hey, baby," I said, what kind of music you listen to these days?" And she goes, "Oh, I listen to this band called the Smiths." And I looked at her kind of funny, and I'm like, "The Smiths?" I said, what do you know about the Smiths?
Yeah.
And I said, "Unless there's a new Smiths." And she's like, "Oh yeah, yeah.
Nope.
I think it. Hold on." Here's the thing. It was like, I think when I saw it came on, it was like 2011 and 2012, and I'm like, honey, the Smiths came out in like the early '80s, and so I played a song for her. She's like, "Yeah, this is one of their songs."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, this was '85." And so when I looked on the screen on my truck, because my Alexa in there tells me, it tells you what song it was and where, and it said remastered 2011. I'm like, "No, honey, that's not when it came out. That's when they
Oh no, it came out
remastered
way
the
before
track."
that.
And so this came out in like 1985. This is like 40 years old.
That's why
That's the question. Who the hell were you talking to, or that was listening to the Smiths?
and she'll appreciate this. Our cousin Amanda and her husband Travis, they have a little girl, and she's not. I mean, she's growing up too damn fast. So is Elena. So they all are. But Parker, I'm telling you, I tell people all the time, Matt will love this one. I always say I love me some Parker. That's because this young lady, I don't know how old Parker is now, probably 10, 11 years old. Kind of the same thing. I mean, she's like an old throwback, borderline hippie. And it to me, it's beautiful. And sometimes Amanda or Travis will shoot video of Parker singing, and it's not some kid's tune. It's head banging heavy metal shit, man. And she's in it. So I love that. I think that's awesome.
Quick funny story. Elena, as Mike, goes to or used to go to the School of Rock, and she plays electric guitar. She plays acoustic guitar. She sings. She also goes to a private Christian school. So one day, and one of the songs she plays at School of Rock is "Highway to Hell" by AC/DC. Yeah. So long story short, we're at a parent teacher conference one time with her teacher, and I'm like, "Look," I pulled her aside. I'm like, "Look, I have to tell you, Elena goes to School of Rock, and one of the songs they're playing," and she stops me. She's like, "No, Mr. Martinez. She told me what song it was, but it was Highway to Hell. But she also said it's okay for me to play it because I'm saved by the grace of God." She was 7 or 8 when this
Good
happened.
Girl. That's outstanding.
I'm like, oh man, I love that kid, man. She says some stuff sometimes. I'm just like, what are you, 30?
No, Elena's freaking awesome. See, that's what I'm talking about. Elena, Parker, Ben, they're all just, I mean, there's something about, listen, you know how you and I feel about like some generations. I don't know what generation they're going to call this group, but this group, the group we're talking about, this age group, I hope I live long enough to see an inkling of what they're going to become, because they are the hope.
True.
I agree. They give me great hope for the future.
But Mike, it also comes down to, and I'll give kudos to Amanda and her husband and them. And even us too. It comes down to the parenting. All the time. It comes down to the parenting, and even Ron Jr., who's 34, 35, somewhere around. What is it? He'll be 34 this year. He'll have parties at his house and stuff, and his buddies and friends will all come over, and Ron will play music that he grew up to, which is music that I grew him up with. And they're like, "Dude, where'd you get this music, man? This is cool, man. Where'd you hear this? Where'd you listen to that?" And Ron will be like, "Man, that's my pops, man. My pops used to listen to this shit all the time. We were kids, and I knew this and that." And I'm going to tell you, we're up against 35, but I'm going to tell you something that might tear you up a little bit. But so Elaine and I were driving home from school one day, and I was listening to the radio I was listening to Spotify, and a song by the Hollies came on called "Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress."
I know where you're going.
This was Archie, our dad's, one of his favorite songs. I mean, he loved listening to this song, and I told Elaine, and I want to start crying now, but I told Elaine, and Elaine was like, "Why do you like this song so much?" I said, "Because my dad loved this song so much."
Daddy's song.
Mike, on a regular basis. And she even one time Michelle's in the car with her, and Michelle says, "What do you want to listen to?" She says, "Long Cool Woman in a Black Dress."
There you go, kid. There you go, kid.
And she'll sit back there and sing it, and just with just pure heart, man. And doesn't understand the lyrics of the song or what it's about, but she knows that Papa likes it.
She knows Papa likes it
because his dad liked it. And now because of that, she likes it. So
that's outstanding.
But hey, everybody. Yeah, I know Mike and I threw a challenge out last week to the Debonair gang and all the people we grew up with, the cousins, the friends, whomever. I would really like to get some pictures of us all, whether it's them, us, all together. It doesn't matter. Just from back in those days. I mean, we're talking back in the 70s, 80s. When was it, Mike? It had to have been like early 70s or early to mid 70s.
Yeah, I think probably, early mid 70s going into the
75, 76, around there, maybe up in the 80s, maybe. But anybody, man, you guys hear us talk about you on this podcast on a regular, So I would love to throw that challenge out again. So I'm gonna start shooting emails and text messages to people to get this.
Give them hell, Ron.
Amen. Don't make me come to Colorado.
You make us come up there.
Don't make me turn green. You will like it when I turn green. Some of you won't get that, but no, I think it'd be a lot of fun to see that kind of stuff. I know I have a few pictures, and matter of fact, Mike, you've sent me pictures from when we were kids. That just
some pictures.
I just blow my mind. I'm like, oh my God,
I actually have some pictures of the house.
Yeah. So let's keep that challenge out there, and those of you that joined us tonight, and those of you that will join us in the days to come, because you can always watch us later on as well. Thank you so much. We're gathering some new recruits, getting some new topics going, and always look forward to having you guys here. Mike, thank you, love you, glad you're here. You're loved reading your book, man. Seriously, not just because you're my brother, but I did enjoy it because it is one of those things that we want to pull those memories out of people and enjoy those thoughts that we may have forgotten about.
And if you're watching this later, I am going to plug it. It's out. You can download the ebook portion for $6.99. A paperback version will be available in the next 24 hours or so, and you can order it, and it comes pretty quick. And that's going to be $14.95. I know it's a little overpriced, but this money is going to lead to the next books that come, and you can find it on Amazon, and you can download it directly into whatever your reader is, Kindle, whatever it may be. And the name of the book is "Let's Go Outside and Throw Shit at Each Other." The colorful canvas of our forgotten youth, and the book just is full of shit of us growing up, and I hope leads to your rediscovery of memories that have been locked away. Let's loosen them up.
Amen.
There we go.
All right, guys. Once again, thanks for joining us. Join us next week, next Wednesday, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific, YouTube and Facebook. Are you shitting me? TMI the podcast. Love you guys.
Love y'all.